One of the things that I know educators have to do is they have to create sometimes graphic organizers or other things. So I was having some fun with Gemini and I said, Sari, do you use graphic organizers? I know you have high school students.
Yeah,
so
I do.
But I know
like
our elementary and middle school teachers do. Okay. How do you normally use them?
I usually use them for organizing complex readings, but I don't use them a lot.
I think that our, elementary school and middle school, and if you guys use them, please, share in the chat how you use graphic organizers. Yeah. So I said, can you create a graphic organizer that would deal with two disparate issues? And it's like, okay, here's some different options of that you can create. We've got a Venn diagram, a matrix grid, mind map, and then it's like, here's some ways that you can choose a different graphic organizer. And here's an example. And so to my Minnesota friends, my Midwest friends, I said, okay, so great. I would love to create a mind map and create a visual of the pros and cons of people who use the words pop versus soda. I'm from Minnesota. We used to use pop. I don't know why, actually, now that I think about it, I'm like, Minnesota, why didn't we use soda? But, we use pop instead of soda.
Yeah, that's a good point. I never thought of that. Yeah.
And so it came up with this, again, not the visual, but it had the pros and the cons and different branches. But then it did actually come up with an example of what that might look like right here. Now, this isn't exactly visually appealing to me, but I think that this is a good step of okay, how I might do it. So I continued to play with this pop versus soda thing. And I said, okay, can you create a Venn diagram of pop versus soda? Now, it did not put pop versus soda in the Venn diagram, but it said left circle would be strong regional identity, like Midwest, upper Midwest, nostalgic, friendly connotations, sounds mimic the opening of a can or a bottle. I've actually never heard that one now that I read that out loud. Never heard of the reason we call it a pop is because you open the can and it goes pop.
I never knew that before. Yeah.
Right. I'll take it. You betcha. The next one was right circle. People who say soda, widespread recognition across the U.S., considered more formal, professional, generic term, lacks specific connotations. And then the overlapping section was like the carbonation of drinks and subject to regional variation. All right. And so I thought that was kind of clever, right? And so I did the same thing. Let me scroll up. I did the same thing and I'm like, I wanted to see how in ChatGPT using DALL-E, it would come up with something like this. So I was playing with that and it, came up with this idea of a scenario for a claymation video.
That's cool.
The scene opens with two characters standing in the kitchen and Pop character takes a bottle out of the fridge and says, hey, want some pop? And Soda character looks around confused. Pop, you mean soda? And then scene 2, the debate begins. And so the same kitchen, now with a table in the middle, Pop and Soda are sitting at the table. The action is Pop. In my hometown, everyone calls it Pop. Okay, whatever. Y'all can read it. Kind of fun. It comes up with the conclusion, different actions. And this is just using ChatGPT and DALL-E. So then I asked it to depict an image of it.
Wow, that is a crazy. I don't know about y'all watching, but that's not how I pictured it. But
yeah,
okay.
Not at all. But this is where you need to have some back and forth. So I said, okay, this is great. But I would like to have two people arm wrestling with one person saying Pop is the right answer and the other person saying Soda is the right answer. And this is what it comes up with. Two dudes going with Pop versus Soda. And that's so better. It is better. And one of the things that I have found so far is that you really need to add that you want diversity within your imagery. Otherwise, it tends to be very white and very male, as I've found it. And I think that potentially would change over time, but especially my kids go to an incredibly diverse school district. And I want all of our kids to be able to see themselves within those imagery. And so you do need to go back and say, okay, that was pretty good, but can you please make this a more diverse group of people and not all males? And so here was the next take on that one.
It's like, you want diversity?
Yeah, here's your diversity.